Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to multiply binomials together still, but it says they're special cases. And the main reason they're special cases is a lot of times the middle term will fall out. So we're going to do this by the distributive method. I'm going to multiply j by j and j by 1. In other words, the first term by both of these. And then I'm going to multiply the second term by both of these. So give me a second to do that. So I just did that. J times j is the j squared. J times the 1 would be 1j. The negative 1 times the j would be a negative j. And the negative 1 times the positive 1 is negative 1. Now I add like terms, add those two together. And what happens when you add a positive j to a negative j? They cancel. And it leaves just the j squared minus the 1. Those two middle terms cancel out. So all I need to type in is the j squared minus 1. Now, a lot of times when you're multiplying two binomials together, if it's the exact same binomial, they write it as a single binomial squared. But I want you to realize that's really just a 4u minus 4 times another 4u minus 4. So really realize that. Don't just accidentally square the first term and square the second term and think that's 16u squared minus or plus 16. You have to FOIL. First times first is the 16u squared. First times last is then minus 16u. Last times first is a minus 16u. Last times last is a plus 16. Negative times a negative is positive 16. The two middle terms combine, giving you a negative 32u. And so we have our first term here. These two middle terms add to that, and our last term. And that's what I typed in, 16u squared minus 32u plus 16. Too many students will just accidentally square each individually and not remember that there are middle terms. So again, write this out as two binomials, 3b minus 1 times another 3b minus 1. And then remember to FOIL. Distribute the first term into both the second term and distribute that second term into both of these terms. So you'll get 4 terms. You'll get a 9b squared, because that's the first times the first, minus 3b, that's the first times the last, minus another 3b, because that's the last times the first, and then a plus 1, because that's negative 1 times negative 1. And then you end up adding the two like terms, which are these middle terms, to give you a negative 6b, and we have the plus 1. So we get 3 terms. Like this, and we submit. So again, be very, very careful as you multiply these that you always write it as 2, so it looks similar to this. Now this is the one where I believe that middle term is going to cancel, but just remember first times first, first times last. So I'm going to get a 4v squared, and I'm going to get a plus 8v. Then I multiply last times first and last times last. That gives me the minus 8v and the minus 16. Those two middle terms are the same, except one's positive, one's negative. They cancel, and it leaves me a 4v squared minus 16. And that's what I type in. Okay, write that out as 2 separate. Again, I'm not going to do it completely for you, but write it as a 2z minus 4 times another 2z minus 4. And then remember to do first times first, first times last, last times first, and last times last. And you will get your final answer. And as you do this, you'll get better and better at it and realize you can actually probably do a lot of this in your head if you so choose, but I would recommend until you get comfortable doing this, write it out. If you have any questions on how to do these, please bring those questions to class and I will help you do so.